What happens when millions of Americans wake up to find an unexpected deposit in their bank account? What if that deposit could be worth thousands of dollars, money they never thought they'd see again? Right now, as we speak, the Social Security Administration is processing payments that could change the financial landscape for seniors and disabled Americans across the country. These aren't just regular monthly payments. These are retroactive payments that some recipients are calling life-changing. If you're finding this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to The Golden Money for more updates on benefits and financial news that directly impacts your life. The story begins with something called the Social Security Fairness Act, a piece of legislation that became law in 2025 and is now reshaping how benefits are calculated for millions of Americans. But to understand why this matters so much, we need to go back and understand what happened to people like Margaret Thompson, a retired teacher from Ohio who worked for 30 years in public education before taking a part-time job in the private sector. Margaret always believed that her years of hard work and contributions to Social Security would ensure a comfortable retirement. She paid into the system just like everyone else during her private sector employment. Yet when she applied for Social Security benefits, she discovered that her monthly payment was significantly reduced because of something called the windfall elimination provision, or WEP. This provision reduced her Social Security benefits simply because she also received a pension from her teaching career. For decades, Margaret and millions of Americans like her have been caught in this system that essentially punished them for having worked in both public service and private sector jobs. The WEP affected teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public servants who dedicated their careers to serving their communities, only to find their Social Security benefits slashed when they reached retirement age. The government pension offset, or GPO, created another layer of complexity. This provision affected surviving spouses who worked in government jobs and received pensions. When their spouse passed away, they found their Social Security survivor benefits reduced, or even eliminated entirely because of their government pension. Dorothy Martinez, a retired postal worker from Texas, lost her husband in 2020 and discovered that her survivor benefits were completely eliminated because of the GPO, despite the fact that her husband had paid into Social Security for over 40 years. These provisions weren't just reducing benefits by small amounts. For many recipients, the reductions were substantial, sometimes cutting monthly payments by hundreds of dollars. The impact on daily life was significant. People had to choose between medications and groceries, between heating their homes and paying for health care, between basic necessities that should have been easily affordable on their earned benefits. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. The Social Security Fairness Act, which became law in 2025, completely eliminated both the WEP and GPO provisions. More importantly, it made these changes retroactive to December 2023, meaning that everyone who had been affected by these provisions would not only see their future benefits restored to their full amount, but would also receive back payments for all the money they should have received since December 2023. Through March 4, 2025, SSA has already paid 1,227,723 people more than $7.5 billion in retroactive payments, and the average retroactive payment so far is $6,610. These numbers represent real people whose financial situations have been dramatically improved overnight. The Social Security Administration has been working around the clock to process these payments. The law requires SSA to adjust benefits for almost 3 million people, and they're doing this as quickly as possible because they understand the urgent need these payments represent for recipients. Let's talk about who exactly is eligible for these payments. If you're receiving Social Security benefits, and those benefits were reduced because of the WEP or GPO, you're likely eligible for both the retroactive payment and the increased monthly benefits going forward. This includes retired teachers, police officers, firefighters, postal workers, and other government employees who also worked in jobs covered by Social Security. The retroactive payments aren't just a few $100s. Many recipients are receiving payments of several $1,000s, representing the difference between what they were receiving and what they should have been receiving since December 2023. For someone whose monthly benefit was reduced by $300. Because of these provisions, the retroactive payment could be around $4,500 or more, depending on exactly when their benefits began. Margaret Thompson, the retired teacher we mentioned earlier, received a retroactive payment of $4,200 in March 2025. This money allowed her to catch up on medical expenses she had been putting off and to finally repair her home's heating system. More importantly, her monthly Social Security payment increased by $280, providing her with the financial stability she had expected when she first applied for benefits. The process for receiving these payments is largely automatic. The Social Security Administration is reviewing records and making adjustments without requiring applications from beneficiaries. Any beneficiaries who receive a retroactive payment or a monthly benefit adjustment will receive a mailed notice from Social Security explaining the change. If you're eligible, you should receive a notice in the mail explaining your payment. But here's what many people don't realize. This isn't just about the money that's being paid out now. This change represents a fundamental shift in how Social Security benefits are calculated going forward. According to the Congressional Budget Office, beneficiaries will see an average monthly increase of $360 for someone receiving Social Security. For 20 years in retirement, this could represent an additional $86,400 in lifetime benefits. The timing of these payments couldn't be more important. With inflation affecting everything from groceries to healthcare costs, these restored benefits provide crucial financial relief. For many seniors, the difference between the reduced payment and the full payment represents the difference between struggling to make ends meet and having a comfortable retirement. Dorothy Martinez, the postal worker from Texas who lost her survivor benefits, received notification in April 2025 that her full survivor benefits would be restored retroactively. Her retroactive payment was $3,800, and her monthly survivor benefit increased by $420. This change transformed her financial situation from one of constant worry about bills to one where she could actually enjoy her retirement years. The Social Security Administration has made it clear that they're prioritizing these payments. They understand that for many recipients, these aren't just numbers on a bank statement. They represent security, dignity, and the ability to live comfortably after decades of hard work and contribution to society. It's important to understand that these changes are permanent. This isn't a temporary adjustment or a one-time political gesture. The Social Security Fairness Act has permanently eliminated the WEP and GPO provisions, meaning that future retirees who work in both public service and private sector jobs will receive their full Social Security benefits without reduction. The lesson here extends beyond just the immediate financial impact. This represents a recognition that public servants, teachers, police officers, firefighters, and other government employees deserve to receive the full benefits they've earned through their contributions to Social Security. It acknowledges that choosing a career in public service shouldn't come with a penalty when it comes to retirement security. As we move forward, it's crucial to stay informed about these changes and to understand how they might affect your own benefits or those of your family members. The Social Security Administration continues to process these payments and adjustments, and they expect to complete the majority of retroactive payments by the end of 2025. If you believe you might be eligible for these payments but haven't received a notice, you can contact the Social Security Administration directly or visit their website for more information about the Social Security Fairness Act and how it might affect your benefits. The bottom line is this: for millions of Americans, the Social Security Fairness Act represents not just a financial boost, but a restoration of the retirement security they worked their entire careers to achieve. The retroactive payments being distributed now are just the beginning. The real impact will be felt in the increased monthly payments that will continue for the rest of these recipients' lives.